currently at the time of recording, 17's Grand Cross is celebrating its 5.5 year anniversary, and with the recent leaks of rumors, it looks like Assault Mode Meliodas is finally going to be getting a new character. And it made me realize that, well, yeah, it's been a very long time since the first year of Grand Cross. There are currently a lot of people playing Grand Cross right now that never really experienced what happened during the first year. A lot of hype moments, a lot of low moments, but I think one thing that stands out the most, and that is kind of how one YouTuber, one Boycott, and the whole support of the community changed everything.
I'm your anchorman, Ordinary, coming at you live from Britannia. This is the Boarhead Headlines. SSR Assault Mode Berserk Meliodas has now joined the fight.
Assault Mode Meliodas next week? You're actually taking the piss. I'm not going to be summoning on the Assault Mode Meliodas banner. I think if Netmarble have proved 3 things in the last month and a bit, it's that 1, they don't even play their own game.
I gotta support a king, alright? He's making king movements, and it's time to stop. Alright, Netmarble, it's time to stop!
Why you should skip Assault Mode Meliodas. Yes, you hear me right now. We talking about skipping. The free-to-play whale has spoken.
The 22nd of January 2021 is where our story begins. However, we do have to go back way before that, and that's back towards the first anniversary on JP and Grand Cross with Goddess Elizabeth. So Goddess Elizabeth was the second ever festival to ever release in 17's Grand Cross, but more importantly was the first year anniversary character for Grand Cross JP. She was a very good unit and Jenny did really well for what you wanted from her anniversary, but many people couldn't help but have a little bit of disappointment for the fact that the first anniversary wasn't the One Escanor.
I wholeheartedly believe, and I'm going to say this in the beginning of the video because I'm going to put this in the title, Elizabeth is definitely not the main anniversary unit. Definitely not the main anniversary unit. We were all very, why would they pick an anniversary to be Elizabeth? And clearly she's not the main unit. Yeah, this Meliodas, this could be the next unit. I really hope it's not. I really okay. I really want the one, man. I really want the one. Please, the one. But it could be. We'll see.
Really good unit, but she's like a defensive unit, so she's not hype. Plus, she's Elizabeth, and people were expecting like the one, so people are upset, which is totally understandable.
The 1 anniversary, the One Escanor, it kind of writes itself. And in fact, this is going to be a common theme going in towards a lot of anniversaries for any gacha game when it comes towards 70 Sins. It's just the perfect character to release. What also didn't help with this Elizabeth was that she was a support festival. And actually, if you look back at all the past festival characters, we've only ever gotten one support. There have been characters like Lucia or Margaret that have turned into support character over time, but on her release, she was a very good DPS character. So Elizabeth, in that sense, is very unique. And ever since then, we have not gotten one of those type of characters. And that's just a natural progression of gacha games. Power creep needs to happen to keep the game fresh, to keep PvP interesting. And 2 months prior, we had just gotten Lost Fame Meliodas, who was a massive power creep, given he was the first festival level character. So 2 months later, we got Elizabeth, who in a sense was kind of made to count him in the way she plays, and in fact what was meant to be a counter turned into be one of the best support for Lost Fame Meliodas, and that was because of one passive, the revive.
Literally Obrush with like Liz, and then you just, because I mean you have Lost Fame Meliodas as well.
It's not he got revived! He got revived!
Yo, we don't see this character, bro.
He got revived! He got revived!
Reviving in 17's Grand Cross PvP is absolutely broken, and I will say they have done it a few times over the years and kind of handled it really well, but it's also because we have many more options to deal with it. At the time, there was no real option to deal with this revive, essentially making it so a character can live for another skill or maybe even one whole turn. Given the revive and shield that Elizabeth provided for the team alongside a stun, it just amplified Lost Fame Meliodas even more, the first ever festival character, and made him even more broken. The first year anniversary ended and the Lost Fame and Goddess Elizabeth meta went on, and after 3 months of Goddess Elizabeth meta, 5 months after Lost Fame's meta, we finally got a unit to deal with these 2 characters, and that was Harlequin.
Apparently, if the enemy has 2 or more poison, electric shock, corrosion from Demon Meliodas, or bleed, then the opponent cannot use any recovery skills. However, if they have 3 debuffs, also their ultimate gauge is going to be reduced by 1 every single turn. turn. So the big problems when you're fighting like the Goddess Liz, King, and also Lost Vein Meliodas team is them just firing off ultimates and just destroying your team in pretty much a single turn. So this completely prevents it, man, which seems very, very interesting.
Now, Harlequin was made to fully counter these two characters, given a bunch of poison and damage over time effects to where you can actually bypass the God's Elizabeth shield, also given a pretty good one-shot ability to actually nuke down the Meliodas, and also an ultimate with the Abyss effect to bypass the revive mechanic. Him alongside Hendrickson were literally made to counter Elizabeth and Meliodas. However, if you played on Global, you never got to experience these two characters, and that's more because of two things. One, we all know that the next character to release after King was going to end up being the actual 30th anniversary character when it came towards Global. Just the way the schedule was, it was very apparent that we should be skipping this character. But also because, well, the leaks started happening.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Sitting here, and today we're going to talk about the new leak that was leaked 10 hours ago. Now, people are freaking out about this. Now, yes, this is a new Escanor body that was leaked. Now, this could mean one of, like, 10 different things, right?
This is also big. Recently found model of Escanor, which matches exactly what Escanor is wearing when he fights Meliodas. Yeah, this is kind of big.
The One Escanor was finally coming. Now, this wasn't much of a shock since we do get characters loosely based on story mode, and since we were fastly approaching the Escanor vs Meliodas fighting story mode, we kinda knew this guy was coming. Escanor was finally usable again. It had almost been 1 year since the release of Red Escanor, so the hype was real. And then, well, the live stream finally got announced. He was finally here.
Oh, the one! Oh! Did you see Assault Melee too? He still killed, but he will have done more damage. Oh,
Why is
it does to someone else!
Oh wait,
The damage goes to someone else
Wait,
if they're
bounces.
dead!
Can't be a quad in it.
Trying to see what the bronze does. Oh my gosh! Oh, we just almost one-tapped that Lost Vein with the bronze guard there, man. That was mental.
You dead? How do we get the The one.
On a green unit. Let's see it. Oh my, 400. He's busted. He's busted. He's busted.
Alright boys, now we have waited for very long. We have waited for over a year, and now we've waited a year and a half to get the one that everyone cares about, the one that is probably good breaking this game, the one.
The One Escanor was perfect. His playstyle was not only meta-changing, but also very thought out. This is something that I love when Grandcross can capture the essence of a character and translates it very well to in-game. His passive reads after every single turn he gains 1 buff, and after he gains 3 buffs, he then gains debuff immunity, but then also loses 1 buff and repeats his cycle, which I think represented the high noon mechanic perfectly. You basically want to stall and build up for that 1 turn to where you can go absolutely crazy. His other skills were also really good too. His first skill just did raw damage, being one of the highest multipliers in the game, which was very good for breaking Goddess Elizabeth's shield. Elizabeth's shield removes all skill effects when you're attacking this shield, which not having a skill effect was perfect to just instantly break it, but also was just a good skill to do a lot of damage, and also lifesteal, which goes really well with his second skill, which is Flood. The One Escanor did more damage the more remaining HP he had, and his whole kit just worked really well together. But where he really shined was his ultimate. His ultimate was single target, and typically you like to have a DPS character that has an AoE ultimate to kind of wipe out the whole board. However, this ultimate was special. It had the death damage. Death damage, if max dupe, would deal the same amount of damage it just dealt towards the same person, and if they die, it would then go on towards a random enemy, making it so it basically killed 2 people if the first person did die to the first initial damage, but also meant that it could bypass revive. Lost Fate Meliodas can no longer survive a ultimate. You could single target him and then deal the additional death damage to get him out of the game, and once Lost Fate Meliodas is gone, you've just won. Escanor's impact on the meta and the game was huge. Outside of PvP, he was one of the better characters for PvE content given the effect of the Ultima, but in terms of PvP, he just absolutely killed red characters. Red characters were just not allowed to play in this meta. Finally, Lost Fate Meliodas was gone. After 8 months of a torturous meta, he was finally no longer usable. So how did the new meta look? Well, it kind of looked the same, just without Lost Fate Meliodas, and now instead of Lost Fate, you now had the One Escanor, which, to be fair, was better. Like I mentioned, everyone was just sick and tired for 8 months straight of seeing a Meliodas in PvP, so now it was finally Escanor's time to shine. It was just fun to finally use a new Escanor in Grand Cross again.
Because I'm about to activate his full passive, so Escanor goes fully debuff immune. Oh, dude, this interaction should be so good. So it's like, yes, I've got the Escanor under control, and then boom, who decided that? Oh, man. Okay, let's go for, I think we go for, Liz here. Hopefully should get the one shot. And then... Oh, actually, I probably want to double single target Lost Vein after this with Sariel. Oh my god. Let's go. Nice. The echo damage went straight on Liz as well, man. That is... That's champion moves, boys. Champion. This Escanor is so good. I'm beyond impressed, man. I'm beyond impressed.
During the Escanor reveal, we got to see Assault Mode Meliodas. Now, given the fact that he both got revealed during the story mode at the exact same time, it was not a surprise to see him. But it was also just nice to see him, right? Because we typically don't get to see 2 festivals get revealed during one stream. Now, granted, they didn't necessarily reveal the Assault Mode Meliodas, but to see his model in game, it definitely built up the hype. And we just gotten a new ticket that got leaked that showcased Assault Mode Meliodas.
There is a Assault Mode Demon or Meliodas ticket, and it's the ticket wasn't enough to confirm it for me. I seen the ticket last night, but this right here is enough evidence that I need to know. I mean, he was going to come out eventually anyway, and with them getting to the point on JP to where they're in the chapter of the story where Escanor fights Meliodas.
Now, it's important to kind of go back to kind of how everyone was thinking at the time. Because right now in Grand Cross, if you are up to date with the current banner system, it is very obvious, and we always know when we're going to get a festival. They're always 2 months apart. But at the time, especially during the first year of Grand Cross, we'd only just gotten 4 festival level characters.
They could either, right? Make Hawk and Oslo the New Year's character that we're gonna have in 2 weeks time, or it could be Assault Melee the New Year's character. We're gonna have to see either that, or Assault Melee can come in January and be the festival, or January or February.
Lost Vein dropped months after the game's released, and 2 months later we got God's Elizabeth, and 3 months later we then got Festival King. There wasn't enough festivals in the game at the time to realize that there was a pattern that we could predict when festival characters were coming, other than, let's say, a anniversary. So to get a Assault Meliodas to leak right after the One Escanor, it was kind of confusing in a way, because surely someone as big as Assault Meliodas was going to be safe for a festival character. So we were expecting this character to come out months later, but what we didn't know was that Netmarble was setting a new trend, and that is a double back-to-back festival in November and also December, with the December festival, even up until this point, always being a new Meliodas. So as we approach 2021, we finally got the announcement, Assault Meliodas was finally here, but it wasn't just a festival, it was actually a new type of festival, introducing the Holy Wars, which was basically just a festival title, but for the villains, or more or less anyone that's not in 70 Sins the group, and also Elizabeth. When I say this was the pinnacle of Grand Cross, I really do mean it. We're coming off the hype of the One Escanor, and only 1 month later, we now have Assault Meliodas playable, and we also had a pretty big tournament over on the global side with a bunch of the content creators.
Yes! We did it! Yes, boys! Oh my god! 50 gems for the lads! Let's go! Oh! Thank you to my boys in Zenith. I want to give a massive shout out to Rizzo, Ryu, Chaotic, Horror, for the training this week, man. We've been doing like 4 hours a day, practice PvP, get my skills in shape. And it paid off today, man. It paid off. Let's go, boys! Oh, mate, I'm so happy, man. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like the biggest weight has been lifted off my shoulders now. Kabuki, well played, bro. Well played. Oh, I couldn't have asked for a better final opponent. Mad love to my boy Kabuki.
At the time, it really felt like everyone was coming back towards the game. And I mean, who can blame them? Assault Melee versus Escanor was probably one of the biggest moments in 70 Sins history, so it's no surprise that this will also be one of the biggest moments in Grand Cross history. Looking back, Assault Meliodas was kind of special because he was bringing forth a new era of Grand Cross PvP that we still see to this day, and that was the full race team. At the time, we had Halloween Golfer, which arguably was probably, if not the best character in the game for PvP, since his passive does allow you to get attack rate stats only if your team is all of different races. And ever since then, we have moved in towards a full mono race team, but unfortunately for Meliodas, he was just too early. Like I said, you wasn't able to use Golfer with Assault Melee because Assault Melee made it so you can only use 4 demons on the team in order to get the buffs that Meliodas wants. So because of that, Meliodas was forced to use a bunch of very, very old demons that were not, and to be fair, never really meta in Grand Cross PvP, but were only now usable because of Assault Meliodas. The One Escanor still had access towards Goddess Elizabeth, the best festival in the game, and the best support festival in the game, alongside Gopher, the best standard character in the game. It wasn't really looking good, and Meliodas, if anything, was kind of set up for failure. For the first 2 weeks of Assault Melee being out, he was probably the best character in the game. But people quickly realized that, well, if you don't attack the Meliodas, he's not going to get that many buffs, and in fact, you could just literally rush Ultima with the One Escanor, and since you had access towards a shield and also revive, you were pretty good at surviving. So naturally, just like I guess in the story of 70 Sins, the One Escanor was a natural counter towards Assault Melee, and honestly, this might have been the main reason why the boycott kind of even started. Moving over towards the global side of 70 Sins Grand Cross, we were currently celebrating Festival King, and we could already see over on JP they had 2 shiny toys, that being the One Escanor and Assault Meliodas. So we had a few weeks to wait until the 1st year anniversary, and a lot of people had kind of already decided what team they were on, either Team Escanor or Team Assault Meliodas. So it was only a matter of time before they finally released on global, and we kind of knew when. The next festival to come to global had to be the One Escanor, since he released right after King, and we were only a few weeks away from the 1 year anniversary. So we all knew he was coming, and the hype was definitely real. After many complaints about how JP handled their 1st year anniversary with a new Elizabeth and not the One Escanor, Global had the perfect opportunity to fix that. I mean, like I did say, it literally writes itself. The one for the 1 year anniversary was perfect. But, well, Netmarble had something else planned. Something that no one saw coming, and this one thing would change how Global would operate.
Greetings, knights, and welcome to the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. I'm your anchorman, Ordinary, coming at you live from Britannia. This is the Boarhead Headlines. SSR Assault Mode Berserk Meliodas has completely unleashed his demonic powers and has now joined the fight. Will he be strong enough this time to save Elizabeth from her inevitable fate?
out of nowhere, in a now deleted video, we got a new Boycott headline, which is a series on the Grand Cross Global channel that is able to communicate what's coming towards the global side, and typically they're even late to covering their own updates, or once again, we are very far behind JP, so we kind of knew what was coming. Typically, these weren't a way to kind of announce things, but this time, they announced something so unexpected. This one was big. Assault Mode Meliodas was coming to Grand Cross Global. At first glance, people were definitely excited, but when you kind of put it into perspective about why they were doing it, it definitely starts to look a bit more sinister. The first reason was the rapid release schedule on 76's Grand Cross Global.
Appreciate you as players and customers, players mainly, not customers, never said that, of the game.
At the time, we were getting a banner every single week for almost a whole year, and this was finally the moment that kind of broke the community. The second reason was to, well, actually nerf Assault Mode Meliodas banner when it comes towards the global side. This one went a bit under the radar when it came towards the actual boycott, but to explain likely why it was going to get nerfed, we have to go back towards Derriere and Lost Fame Meliodas. Since Global was getting weekly banners, but the actual banners themselves lost in 2 weeks, this basically meant that overlap when it comes towards the filler characters was going to happen. And for example, Derriere released August 18, 2020 on the global side, lasting 2 weeks all the way up until September 1st. The banner that then replaced Derriere on the 1st was no other than Lost Fame Meliodas. However, his banner on global looked much different. JP Grand Cross had Derriere as a filler character on the banner, but Global didn't. That was because Derriere on JP released on the 27th of February. Her banner lasted 2 weeks up until March 12th, but unlike Global, the character to replace Derriere wasn't Lost Fame Meliodas. Lost Fame wouldn't release until the 26th of March, meaning that there was at least 2 weeks of Derriere being gone, and also another banner in between them, which meant she was able to return on the banner of Lost Fame as a filler character. And because of the fast global schedule, we went straight from Derriere into Lost Fame with no other banner in between other than the free banner leading in towards the actual festival Meliodas. And because, well, we knew Lost Fame was slowly approaching on global, people actually skipped Derriere because we knew that she was going to return on the Lost Fame Meliodas banner. But of course, Netmarble kind of knew we were skipping Derriere, and because she was literally leaving and going in towards the next banner, they ended up removing her on the current Lost Fame Meliodas banner. So basically, if the current active banner was still on global and that said character was then to appear on the next banner, then global wouldn't do it because of the fast-paced schedule. History was about to repeat itself. One of the best banners and characters to ever release was Sariel and Tamiel. These were two goddesses that brought a new mechanic into the game alongside the Graces. These were crazy characters. However, we all knew on global that they were likely going to be skips, and that was because they featured on the Assault Mode Meliodas banner. Very similar towards Derriere, a lot of people end up skipping these two characters because we knew that they were going to appear on the next festival character for Assault Mode Meliodas. But when they made the announcement that Assault Meliodas was coming towards the game, what was the current active banner on global? Sariel and Tamiel. So it was very, very likely that Assault Meliodas' banner that came 2 weeks after Sariel and Tamiel was likely going to be nerfed, especially considering that the Sariel and Tamiel banner itself on global was actually nerfed. Leduciel should have appeared on the global banner, and the pattern we just described of having at least 2 weeks in between the characters, this applied towards Leduciel on global, and he still didn't even make it on towards the banner which he should have been on. So with that, it was very likely that Assault Meliodas banner was going to get nerfed. And the third reason was to actually screw over the people that wanted Assault Mode Meliodas. If you were Team Melly, you were planning to even skip the One Escanor and save everything for his banner. But not only was it going to get nerfed, the people that wanted to summon the banner thought they had at least 2 months to save. Well, too bad, it's now dropping in 2 weeks.
It's Assault Mode Meliodas next week. You're actually taking the piss. It was 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks ago, a week and a bit ago, Archangel's banner, fucking gimped one at that, no Ledociel, like this, the rest of the pool was absolute shit. And then 2 weeks before that, fucking Festival King. Assault Mode Meliodas already. There's like 10, 15 characters that you fucking skipped out on. Give people that aren't spending thousands and thousands of dollars a goddamn fucking chance to play this game. This is beyond ridiculous. Who thought this would be a good idea? This is the shittest idea that I've ever seen in the history of ideas. All you're doing by releasing Assault Mode Meliodas next week is pissing off absolutely everybody that plays this game. What the are you crackheads smoking? What? Look at the dislike ratio. 3,800 dislikes. I'm pretty sure all those likes are bots. Nobody fucking likes seeing this. What the are you doing? And because the Archangels have just released, this is probably going to be a fucking GIMP banner. And even if it's not a GIMP banner, even if it has the Archangels in, everybody's going to be fucking pissed that they summon on the Archangels if the Archangels are in the banner. Because nobody expected Soul Move Meliodas 2 weeks later. What the?
The community was on fire, but then a light of hope shined through, and one person, one legend, was able to bring us all together.
I'm not going to be summoning on the Assault Mode Meliodas banner. I think if Netmarble have proved 3 things in the last month and a bit, it's that 1, they don't even play their own game because they have no handle on the community. They have no idea how it feels to have just crazy banner after crazy banner rammed down your throat, and absolutely no possible way to even think about summoning on all of them unless you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars. 2 is that they're a bunch of liars. Everything that they said in the developer notes in November is just absolute And 3 is that they're absolutely full of shit. Like, whatever they say, how can we trust anything they say now? In the November development notes, they said to close, we would like to acknowledge issues that many of you have with the game, such as the repetitive gameplay, equipment farming fatigue, and the rapid hero release schedule. We wholly understand these points and how they affect you, and we're going to try and come up with improvements as soon as possible after careful consideration. Now, back in November, things were pretty bad. Banners were coming out very, very fast. But since then, it has escalated so much faster. If you have a look in the game at the moment, the last like 3 and a bit weeks, we've had the Archangels banner. We've had the Festival King banner as well, man. That was only 3 and a bit weeks ago. And next week, they want to now dump on Assault Mode Meliodas. I'm going to be boycotting the Assault Mode Meliodas banner. I will not be summoning. I will not be spending on this banner. And I encourage you to do the same, but I want to go over a few points here. If you're with me on this one and you don't want to summon on this banner and you want to join the boycott for the Assault Melee banner, please go to the Google Play or App Store and leave a 1-star review with hashtag boycott Assault Melee 2021, and also feel free to leave your feedback and general thoughts about the game as well. Again, the more constructive you can be, the better as well. Number 2, I encourage you to dislike the Assault Melee announcement video on YouTube. Again, it's already like being ratioed like crazy as we speak. But yeah, like, you know, add another dislike to the fire, boys. Also, 3 is don't summon on the Assault Meliodas banner. But also number 4, and this one's really important, please do not harass or bully anybody that chooses to summon on this banner. Our frustrations are at Netmarble and not our brothers and sisters that may be having a hard time during this pandemic, and 7 Deadly Sins is their main outlet of stress relief.
Cian's demands were definitely high, but it wouldn't take too long for the forums and the YouTube community to all come together in support of the boycott, and to this day we haven't really seen anything like it. Yes, there have been countless of boycotts and some that even have changed the game a little bit when it comes to buffing up characters, but this was unprecedented.
I will not be summoning, and if you are a spender, honestly, I recommend you also skip.
And in today's video, guys, I'm going to be doing the Boycott Assault Meliodas 2021.
Cian made a video and called for a boycott for Assault Meliodas, and I'm going to go behind it. I'm backing it. I will not be summoning for him.
This is not a Dokkan battle video at all. My boy Season, he's coming at them hard. I want to join the crew.
Go ahead. But this is like, this whole thing at the moment, it's bigger than just whether you want a unit or not. It's the principle.
If you guys are watching this video, we're boycotting the Assault Meliodas' banner.
Hashtag boycott Assault Melee 2021.
Releasing this video, like asking people to boycott Assault Melee, I'm actually joining the movement.
Boycott Assault Melee. Don't summon.
I gotta support a king, alright? He's making king movements, and it's time to stop.
Vale. The boycott Assault Melee banner, ¿vale?
Skip it anyways, whether you agree with the boycott or you don't agree with people are doing for the boycott. I suggest you don't summon.
Everyone has pretty much resoundingly collected behind Seaton in this new move titled Boycott Assault Meliodas 2021.
I could have easily made this video in the morning saying, yo, hashtag boycott assault mode Meliodas, but personally, I wanted to add on to this video.
Stand with my boy Seaton here. He is going to boycott the Assault Meliodas banner.
On why you should skip Assault Mode Meliodas. Yes, you hear me right now. We talking about skipping.
Leave a 1-star review on the Google Play Store. Hashtag boycott Assault Melee 2021.
The drastic measures a community has to go to in order to actually get changes from the devs is incredible.
It would take only 1 day for them to respond, and well, the community won. Assault Mode Meliodas was getting delayed.
And I must say, I am happy that they chose to respond to the situation instead of ignoring it, and that's kind of the first point here. Now, as a first response, I think this is good, because it shows willingness to listen and willingness to take action. But I think the situation is much bigger than just the Assault Mode Meliodas banner, and I think anybody that has played this game really understands that. And it's pushed everybody to this boiling point that just hit crazy tension yesterday. And this is really the outpour that they're seeing. And Netmarble, they need a much bigger response than this. Ladies and gentlemen, now today we've got a response from Netmarble regarding the global situation and what appear to be some really solid commitments moving forward. This is not a regular announcement, but a developer note specifically prepared to deliver our apology and briefly share our new operational plan. The main subject to address is the pace at which new characters are released. Following the release of Golden Wings Elaine, every new character will be released generally every 2 weeks. Because of this, there was no new character banner this week. Going forward, we will continue to minimize the gap between the Japanese and global versions, but we will adjust the release schedule of new characters for the global build to conform to the 2-week general cadence. As for major festival banners, they will now be released in the same order as the Korean and Japanese builds. We will also try to keep the draw pool lineup similar, but if in the off chance that we cannot, we will adjust the pools to include more desirable options. Also, by adjusting the order and pacing of banners, we will do our best to meet Knight's expectations and provide greater opportunities to acquire desired characters. For example, the eventual Assault Mode Meliodas banner will include members of the 4 Archangels in the draw pool. I think the thing I'm most happy about here is just the commitment to slowing down banners and having a new banner every 2 weeks. And also the commitment to not making banners worse than they were on the Japanese version. Overall, I'm happy with the way that they handled the situation. They listened to the overwhelming feedback, they delayed the Assault Mode Meliodas banner, they took that immediate action, then on top of that, they've made a variety of commitments to slow down the release of banners, keep to the same schedule as the Japanese and Korean version, and not intentionally remove characters and nerf banners in comparison to the Japanese version. So I'm very happy with everything that they've listed here today. Yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty good resolution to the whole Assault Mode Meliodas drama.
For the past 10 months of weekly banners in global, a rush schedule, nerf banners, it was finally over. Meliodas was then replaced with a Christmas Elaine, and for the first time ever in Grand Cross Global, we wouldn't see another banner for 2 weeks. And that, up until this day, has been the pattern ever since. But the global side still has one problem. The whole reason why we were getting weekly banners was to catch up to JP and KR. So in order for global to catch up, they dropped probably one of the craziest banners ever made. For the part 2 for the global anniversary, we got 6 new characters to release on one banner, and only them as filler. To be fair, even back then, these characters weren't the craziest units, but still, being able to summon on a new banner, getting an SSR, knowing you're going to get a guaranteed new character, we've never seen that to this day. 1 month after the global anniversary, the One Escanor then got replaced by Assault Meliodas, and his banner was not nerfed. The Archangels did appear on it, meaning that Seaton's boycott was a massive success. Seaton would then go on to quit 76 Grand Cross only 1 year later, but his role and legacy in the Assault Meliodas boycott was undeniable. Legendary.
Ladies and gentlemen, now today I wanted to try something a little bit different. So we're on Twitch and we're going to be going into small streams and asking if they've summoned on Assault Mode Meliodas. And if they haven't, then we're going to offer to buy them the most expensive pack in the game so that they can summon. Come on. Oh, yes!
See it in your legend.
There we go, dude. Massive congratulations to Arthur, bro. Now getting body slammed. Yes, there we go. The final copy of a body slam, bro. That is absolutely amazing. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, please do smash that like button and let me know how you're feeling about 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross in the comments section below. Take care, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.
Assault Mode Meliodas' story doesn't end then. He would kind of become a meme in the community, and that was because of his 5th weapon. Cosmetics not only give a huge CC boost when it comes to stats in this game, but also weapons give an extra attack. It's kind of important for a DPS character, and if Assault Meliodas wasn't already at a disadvantage, him not having a full set of cosmetics kind of became a running joke in the community.
Alright, Netmarble has been hating this unit for so long. They refuse to give him his 5th weapon. In today's patch notes, they just revealed they're gonna give the next Hog Pass Festival outfit to Fest King, the new one, not the old one, instead of this Assault Melee. So it's safe to say they hate this unit. They don't support short kings. I don't know, man. It's something, he's done something. This guy has done something that Netmarble just doesn't like, and that's why they have to punish him. Now also there's this outfit from Guild Wars, by the way, which sucks. We're gonna be making Assault Mode good. We're gonna emulate him having a 5th weapon.
And after 2 years since the boycott, he finally got his final weapon.
I'm recording without checking the patch notes first. Let's experience this together, boys. What is this? Assault Melee 5th weapon? No way. You guys are trolling. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Holy shit! It happened! Oh. I'm tweeting this. What? No Chandler, but like what? And Zeldris and Estarossa as well. Got their 5th weapons too. Unbelievable.
Okay, that's good. That's definitely good. Oh! No way! They got their 5th weapons! They got their 5th weapons! Zeldris, Estarossa, and Assault Melee are getting 5th weapons. New costume, second coming of Demon Beast.
Ooh! Oh, whoa. What? Where's Chandler's one, bro? Is that Traitor Melee? Oh, there's Assault Melee's 5th weapon! Assault Melee's 5th weapon! Is that real? No way! They actually did it! So soon after his 5th weapon, Assault Meliodas finally got his Holy Relic, and it was actually a pretty good one. Finally, it felt like Assault Meliodas was getting the love he deserved all those years ago, but around 4 years later.
As you guys can see, we got some crazy Holy Relics, by the way. We will be translating these together and kind of talking about it. So pretty much for Assault Mode Meliodas, it's going to be at the beginning of the battle. For 2 turns starting of the battle, you get basic stat increase of 30%. If you do not take damage on the enemy's turn, give yourself that same effect at the start of the ally's turn. So you get up to, what is it, 60% basic stats. And then per buff effect on yourself, increase basic stats of the demon characters up to 15% 3 times. So you get 5% times 3, 15%. Pretty big. So you get 15% basic stat increase for your team. And then also Assault Melee, you know, oh, that's so good. He's actually very, very good. This relic is nice, guys. It makes it so that people that don't attack into Assault Melee, they still, he benefits. And then even when they are attacking into him, his passive is also obviously just going to benefit naturally.
The relic itself was actually pretty good and covered one of the main weaknesses that the character had, where you could just literally not attack him and just medium rush ultimate. However, this relic made it so if you actually don't attack the character, he then gets a pretty big buff. But was the relic enough to actually make him usable? Kinda. So around 2 months later, we end up getting our anniversary, and with this anniversary, we brought their LRs. And of course, the first LR that Netmarble and 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross had to introduce was none other than Lost Fame Meliodas. If we go back towards the boycott all those years ago, and we live in a world where Assault Meliodas came up before the One Escanor, what would the global exclusive Assault Meliodas meta look like? It would actually look a lot different, considering that the One Escanor didn't exist. That likely meant there was no actual good blue characters in the meta, which means red characters would have reign supreme. If you go back and look at the two best red characters for the One Escanor came out, that kind of kept these two characters in control was obviously Lost Fame Meliodas and also Red Sario. So even though Assault Meliodas would have came out a little bit earlier before the One Escanor, the same reason why the One Escanor was so good is because Lost Fame and also Sario both had access towards Halloween Gopher and also Goddess Elizabeth.
Spanner, this character as well, just to give you a sense of perspective, is going to be global PvP. Absolutely Lost Fame Meliodas and Sariel clap this man so damn hard. And there's no the One Escanor. Every single PvP team has either like Sariel or Lost Fame Meliodas at the moment. And like 2 golden cleave cards for either character will just wipe that team. It is like such an easy takedown. Like Sariel, man, is going to be mowing down Assault Melee teams. I kind of hope that some people actually do summon on this banner just so I can like destroy them in PvP with like 2 Sariel cards, man, and just make them regret their decision.
So yeah, it was very likely that you would have seen kind of a little bit of a red meta. So it's kind of fit in a little bit that only 2 months after Assault Melee got his relic, Lost Fame Meliodas came out to kind of keep him in his place again. Not only that, we still had Purgatory Meliodas, who was probably likely still the better Meliodas. He was kind of the 3rd best melee in a group of 3. So even though it finally felt like Assault Melee was getting the love he deserved, he got his 5th weapon and also relic, but it was just too late. The game had already passed on, and the meta and the era of Assault Melee was sadly over. To his credit though, it wasn't all that bad, because at least in some specific contents in PvP, like Chaos Mode or even the Draft Mode, Assault Melee did turn out to be one of the better characters. Only when the pool was restricted towards a certain limited characters, he was finally at least had a meta that you can actually use Assault Melee, so we at least got to see what a world would have been like if Assault Melee was the best character in the game. And that was kind of all we heard from Assault Melee. Maybe you saw him once or twice in PvP, but you kind of just bodied him. But then randomly, during our 5.5 anniversary, in the midst of celebrating the new release of the Oppressor Demon King Zeldris, we got a leak that definitely no one was expecting. Almost as the time of when Assault Melee got revealed to be coming towards global, this was just as unexpected. Assault Mode Meliodas was getting a new character.
If you guys already seen the patch notes, pretty much the part 2 unit will be in Assault Mode Meliodas. Again, they said in the patch notes that they did buff Assault Mode Meliodas stats, and this kind of lets you know that the reason why they're doing so is because, again, we are going to be getting a new Assault Mode Meliodas for part 2, which is going to be coming up this week.
So yes, the Assault Meliodas leaks were true, and if anything, they were almost confirmed by Netmarble themselves, because with the release of Demon King Zeldris, his actual patch buffed up the stats for Assault Mode Meliodas, and it was later confirmed by the devs that yes, he had received the buff a little bit too early, and this buff was going to go into effect with the release of the new Assault Meliodas that would have released 2 weeks later. Fast forward towards literally 1 day before the release of the new Assault Meliodas, we actually got a teaser for him. This was very surprising. This is something they don't really actually do too often, especially since this year most of the part 2s have been 4 Knights of the Apocalypse characters, where this time around it was obviously going to be Assault Meliodas, and they kind of continued the teasers that we got with Demon King Zeldris. To quickly go back a little bit, the Demon King Zeldris post was basically just highlighting the moment where QSAG did input all the actual commandments into a Zeldris, and of course giving us Demon King Zeldris, the second form essentially, right? And in the next following teasers was basically the same thing, but ended a bit different, leaving one commandment, the commandment of love. Now, of course, we had leaks, so we kind of knew it was going to be Assault Meliodas, but there was a few people that thought it was Estarossa, because Estarossa was the second person to get the commandment of love after Assault Meliodas, before the actual Holy War. So it would have been kind of a big surprise if we actually didn't get leaks, or also if Netmarble kind of didn't spoil it by saying, yes, we are getting buffed on Assault Melee. I wonder how the community would have reacted to thinking it would have been Estarossa, and a big surprise with Assault Melee. And of course, 1 day later, we got the announcement of Assault Meliodas coming towards the game, and he was a tank character, which was a big shock. But here we go. So the hero's max HP is increased by 10% for each applicable ally in battle, which is important because when we go down towards his actual normal skills, they are based off HP. He's a HP character, which I actually kind of love, because HP characters notoriously have always been broken. They do scale up really, really well, and this guy's all about buffing up his HP a little bit because he's a tank character.
Okay, now the question is though, is the like melee being able to kind of draw damage away, is that going to actually help us a ton here? Let's see. So AoE right there is infect, so again, you know, we're not going to be able to lifesteal here or Tarmiel link this, unfortunately, but I mean our HP related is higher. Okay, yeah, our tanking's pretty good. That AoE actually tanked really well, And then the single target from Sun Jin Woo, not enough damage, guys. That did no damage, actually. Yeah, no, this character is busted, man. Let's just see how much HP this character has right now. Like, it's got to be an absurd amount, right? We are at 850k HP, guys. That is super absurd. But yeah, if Escanor does attack now this turn, he's cooked, so he just does die. And then Sun Jin Woo there, I mean, you know, we'll see exactly what it's going to do. But we're not taunting now on this turn because we actually didn't do, you know, our effect there with Assault Melee. So he's going to die. Escanor's going to die right there. Let's see what they do. AoE right there with Sun Jin Woo. Block affected, so it's not going to infect us. And we're going to tank that. Oh, and we get the HP related as well. And then Brunhild with a single target, let's see. Oh my god, guys. This is crazy, actually. This is kind of crazy. The fact that Melly gets that much tanking is a little absurd, actually.
No, we don't need a rank 2. I do this, this, and then this. And they're dead. Yeah, I mean, this guy is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy how strong he is. It is so crazy to me how strong he is.
And that, boys, completes the history of Assault Meliodas, at least so far. I think there's definitely a possibility in the future, not this year, but maybe going in towards the next year or two, of getting a new Assault Meliodas where he does have the final move he basically uses in 70 Sins, that being the Nemesis combo attack with the Sins. I think this will kind of almost be like a good send-off towards Assault Meliodas, but unfortunately right now, we are not there. Looking back, Assault Meliodas history was full of so much hype moments, so much low moments, and just craziness. Every character in the series of 70 Sins Grand Cross, there's no character that has come anywhere near as hype, nor as special. Boycotts, memes, weird releases, and even buffs. But guys, that is going to wrap up today's video with the history of Assault Meliodas. Thank you for watching, have made it towards the end. Honestly, this video was a very long time in the works. Actually going back towards 2023, almost 2 years ago at the time of recording. This is something that I wanted to plan as a bigger part of a project, which was going to cover the whole history of 70 Sins Grand Cross. And as you can see, this is only a small portion, more or less just covering the Assault Meliodas release. And this video in itself took probably likely like 40 minutes to cover. So you can imagine how much it would have taken and how long it would have taken to actually cover the whole history of 70 Sins Grand Cross. To kind of put in perspective, this actual script that I wrote for this video was around 2-ish K words, where my whole script that I wrote for the history of 70 Sins Grand Cross was 18. So this would have ended up being like a 10+ hour video if we was to cover the whole history. That being said, I am still open towards the idea of covering history of other particular things, like the history of characters getting buffed and nerfed, maybe even cover some of the collaborations too. So guys, let me know in the comments below, if you made it towards the end, what other history type of videos you want to see me make, and if I can do it, we will. But for now, guys, thank you for watching the history of Assault Meliodas.